Hello, my name is Frank and this is TVL. This is a place you learn a lot in music, and of course, if you keep watching my videos and the information I bring to you, which is the very best, you definitely grow from where you are. Don't forget to leave, maybe if you want me to do a video on any subject, leave it in the comment section below if you have any question. Now today I'm going to talk about voice types. I did a video on this before, but I'm going to go deeper right now and talk about different classifications of, for instance, soprano, tenor, and so on and so forth. Okay, so today we're going to talk about soprano. First and foremost, I want to mention that your range is not enough to determine your voice type. Okay, range is not enough. It's part of it, but it's not enough. You also need to know the vocal, the tessitura, which is the range, the comfortable range the person sings on mostly, and also the vocal timbre, which is the texture of the voice. Is it like husky? Is it full? Is it light? Is it agile? And so on and so forth. Okay, so these are some of the other factors that you can use to determine voice types. Okay, so we're gonna break down soprano and look into different kinds of soprano. Okay, so a typical soprano ranges from C4 to C6. This is C4, the lowest, and this is C6. And extreme lows could go down up to B3 and perhaps F6 or G6 and so on and so forth. So now we'll take a deeper look at these different voice types according to the Fach System, F-A-C-H system, which categorizes voice types into 25 different categories. Okay, so the Fach System, I'll explain that it was a system invented in the 19th century by German opera houses. It was simply used to create clear roles and categories in the opera, as well as for singing voices, in order to help in auditions and castings. Okay, Fach means classification, specialty, category. Okay, singers were placed in a Fach according to their voice types, and they would only study the characters that belonged in that category. So what opera houses would do was keep records of singers according to their category, and they would call them in for auditions according to which roles were available, according to the roles that was needed at that time. Okay, so here are the various segments or areas where they place their judgment in terms of categorizing their voices into different types. Number one, the range, of course, which most people only use to categorize their voice, but it's not enough. So the range, the notes that your body can produce, that's the notes that your body can produce. No, these days we have techniques so you can extend your range. That's why I said it's not enough. Then we have the weight of the voice. Is it a light voice? Is it bright and agile? Heavy voice? Is it powerful? Is it rich? Is it dark? Okay, so these are the weights. Now, how about the size? The size, the amount of sound you can produce, and your voice dramatic effect. And we also have the tessitura, part of the range which is most comfortable to sing. You know, I mentioned that earlier. Okay, there's an area where your voice blossoms. Okay, you may be able to reach C6 and so on and so forth, but at that range of voice, the true color, the true blossoming of your voice doesn't quite show, and you can go as low as bass, but you don't really live there. There's a range, there's an area where your voice, really shines and blossoms, where you live more. Okay, timbre is another way to say the color of the voice, which is the unique quality and texture. Okay, and we also have the transition points, like where you change from chest voice to head voice to mixed voice and so on and so forth. And also, speech level, which is also your talking voice, like when I'm talking, can also be used to determine. It's also a determining factor of your voice type. Fach system may seem rigid, still used in some parts of the world like Europe. It helps you in making better decisions when it comes to auditioning. Okay, so let's go into soprano proper. So the highest kind of voice type is soprano. I told you about the range in the beginning of the video, okay? So which is not really enough. So anyway, let's look at the various kinds of soprano voices we have there at the top. You know, the reason why I said range is not enough, we have soprano at the top and then we have mezzo soprano just below. Now both have similar ranges and both can hit the same highest range, both can hit the same lowest range, but you know, you also need the texture, the tessitura or timbre to determine what area they blossom best, because mezzo soprano have a darker, you know, range at the bottom or at the middle where they have that, you know, balance and weight and more color. Okay, while the soprano live somewhere at the top where the voices blossom. Okay, so range is not enough. So first of all, the Soubrette. The Soubrette is a kind of soprano voice that has these characters. It is young, it sounds young, it's light, so a young person can, you know, fall in this category, a young female singer. And also someone who's older can fall in this category, depends on what you hear. So the voice, the voice comes out like this because of the size and the thickness of the vocal cords, which I'll talk about later. Someone like Rihanna sometimes falls in this category. She is a lyric soprano, but sometimes she falls in this category, and Ellie Goulding as well. And the next kind of voice is the lyric coloratura soprano. Now, coloratura there, because we have just lyric soprano and then we have lyric coloratura soprano. Coloratura only means that this kind of voice can maneuver through notes so easily. They can do runs, note bends, and so on. So these are the characteristics of this kind of soprano voice. Is high, is bright, is flexible. Someone like Jessie J is in this category. And then we have the next one, which is dramatic coloratura soprano. There you go again, coloratura soprano. So we could have just dramatic soprano, and then we have dramatic coloratura soprano. Now, it's very similar to lyric soprano. The only difference is that dramatic, whenever you hear the word dramatic, is powerful, more powerful. Okay, so these are the characteristics. It's high, it's dark, and it's flexible. Okay, coloratura again, able to maneuver through note bends and runs, yet maintaining that power in that range. Awesome. Then by the way, someone like Karen Clark Sheard, I will put this kind of person in this kind of soprano voice. Then we have lyric soprano, just lyric soprano. Okay, it's warm, it's legato, it's full, so it's not as, you know, maneuvery. You know, it doesn't maneuver just the way the lyric coloratura soprano would. So this is just lyric soprano. Someone like Rihanna sometimes falls in this category. Someone like Miley Cyrus as well. Okay, then the next one is character soprano. Character soprano is bright, is metallic, and is theatrical. All right. Then the next one is spinto, or young dramatic soprano. Spinto or young dramatic soprano. This one is powerful, is young, yet it is full. And then finally we have dramatic soprano. This one is powerful, is dark, yet it is rich. So if you're a soprano, now you know better. What kind of soprano voice type do you fall in? Okay, now you know the range, you know the various types of soprano. So like I said, knowledge is amazing. It puts you up there. So I'm going to talk about the other kinds of voices later, because we have different kinds of mezzo soprano voices, and then we have contralto, we have tenor, we have baritone, we have bass. So just stay tuned. See you next time.